Have you ever felt like there's more to life than what you see? Like beneath the noise, the chaos, the endless chase for success, something deeper is calling you. A truth you can't quite explain, but you can feel it in your soul. That quiet voice that whispers, "Wake up." Spiritually awake people hear that voice. And once they do, the world never looks the same again. They begin to see what others cannot: energy behind matter, lessons behind pain, light behind darkness, connection behind separation. Today, you are invited to see through their eyes, to awaken, to remember, to finally witness life not as it appears but as it truly is. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly through your nose, exhale gently through your mouth. Feel your body soften, feel your awareness expand. Feel the presence of this very moment, because what you are about to hear is not meant for your mind alone, it is meant for your spirit. Today we speak about what spiritually awake people see that others cannot. Part 1. Awakening is not about seeing something new. It is about seeing the same world with new eyes. To awaken is to finally wake up from the trance of illusion that most people live in every single day. The spiritually awake see beyond the surface. They no longer get lost in appearances, labels, or titles. They no longer believe that a person's worth is measured by wealth, status, or recognition. They have learned that everything the eyes see is temporary, but what the soul perceives is eternal. While the world is busy chasing images, they are seeking truth. Because truth is not something you find outside. It is something you remember within. The spiritually awake see how most people live disconnected from themselves. They see how the mind constantly runs, jumping from past to future, never present. They see how people try to fill their emptiness with possessions, attention, or distractions, but the more they chase, the emptier they feel. To the awake, this is the great sleep of humanity, to live surrounded by noise and yet feel nothing real inside. When you awaken, you begin to see how everything is energy. You start noticing that words are not just sounds, they carry intention. You sense how someone's presence can heal or harm before they even speak. You realize that behind every smile there may be pain, and behind every anger there is usually fear or misunderstanding. The spiritually awake do not judge these things. They observe with compassion. They understand that every soul is walking its own path, learning through both light and shadow. They see that people do not act out of evil, but out of unconsciousness. When a person lies, hurts, or manipulates, it is not their truth speaking. It is their pain trying to survive. The awake no longer react to every wound projected onto them. They respond with awareness because they understand energy that is not matched cannot harm you. They see the patterns that others miss. They notice how certain situations keep repeating until the lesson is learned. They understand that life is not random. It is intelligent, perfectly designed to awaken consciousness through experience. While others see misfortune, the awake see mirrors. Each challenge reveals what still needs healing inside. They no longer say, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What is this trying to teach me?" Every difficulty becomes sacred because it pushes them to evolve. They see beauty in pain, clarity in chaos, lessons in loss. To the spiritually awake, every person they meet is a reflection. Some reflect their light, others reflect their shadow, but all help them return to wholeness. They walk through life like silent observers, detached yet deeply connected. They do not rush to fix or to control because they know that everything unfolds according to divine timing. They have learned to trust the unseen. They see that love is not something to chase, but something to embody. And through that awareness, they begin to move differently. They listen more, speak less. They feel more, react less. They become the calm in every storm because they see from the eyes of the soul, not the eyes of fear. That is what it means to truly awaken, to see what others cannot, to feel what others ignore, and to know that behind every illusion There is only one truth. Everything is connected, everything is divine. Spiritually awake people see time differently. They understand something most of the world forgets, that time is not a straight line, but a flowing presence. Everything you think is past or future is simply memory or imagination happening in this eternal now. The awake know that life does not move forward or backward, it only unfolds moment by moment. They live deeply in the present because they have learned that the present moment is not a small part of life, it is life itself. When you awaken, you begin to notice how most people live imprisoned by time. They are haunted by what they did yesterday or anxious about what will happen tomorrow. They keep reliving old pain or chasing future dreams, yet forget to live today. They say, when I get this, then I'll be happy. When I achieve that, then I'll rest. But the awakened no longer postpone life. They no longer wait for the perfect moment because they understand the perfect moment is always now. They have learned to slow down, to breathe, to see beauty in the ordinary. Because when you are truly present, a simple cup of tea, a single breath, a silent sunrise can reveal the entire universe. To the spiritually awake, patience is not the absence of movement, it is the presence of trust. They know that rushing does not bring you closer to your destiny, it only makes you blind to it. They see how people chase goals and timelines created by society, graduate by this age, marry by that age, achieve by another, and when they fail to meet those invisible deadlines, they feel lost. But the awake smile because they have discovered that divine timing is never late. They know that life's rhythm cannot be forced, it must be felt. They trust that every delay is protection, every setback is redirection, and every pause is preparation. They no longer see waiting as wasted time, they see it as sacred time. Time when the soul rearranges itself. Time when unseen forces align what is meant for them. Spiritually awake people see how modern life worships speed. Everything must be faster. Communication, success, gratification. People rush to become someone, forgetting they already are someone. The awake do not live like that. They move with awareness, not haste. They know that running faster does not mean progressing further. They see how silence is avoided by many because silence confronts you with yourself. But the awake embrace silence. They meditate. They sit with their breath. They listen to the quiet pulse of existence. And in that stillness, they find wisdom, answers, peace. Time slows down for them, not because the clock changes, but because their presence deepens. They are no longer slaves to deadlines. They honor the natural flow of life, like the moon honors its phases and the ocean honors its tides. When you awaken, you begin to see that the future is shaped not by anxious striving, but by the energy you bring to this moment. If you are at peace now, your future will be born from peace. If you are angry now, your future will reflect that anger. The awake do not obsess about what's next. They focus on what's true now, because they know that the seeds of tomorrow are planted in the soil of today. They no longer ask, how long will it take? They ask, what is life teaching me here? They live as if every breath matters because to them it does. Ultimately spiritually awake, people understand that time is an illusion used by the mind to measure eternity. They live beyond the ticking of the clock. They feel the eternal presence that has no beginning and no end. Their peace does not depend on how fast things happen. It flows from knowing that everything happens exactly when it should. So while the world races ahead, they walk calmly. They do not rush because they have arrived. They do not chase because they already are. They live fully here now, where time dissolves and truth begins. The spiritually awake also see energy in all things. They understand that everything in existence, thoughts, words, emotions, objects, even silence, vibrates at a certain frequency. To them, nothing is truly solid. Everything is energy moving at different speeds. They feel life not just through the senses, but through vibration. They can sense harmony or disharmony in an environment long before anyone else notices. They know when energy is balanced because it feels light, open, and calm. They know when energy is heavy because it feels tense, draining, or suffocating. This awareness makes them cautious with what they consume, who they surround themselves with, and what they allow into their minds, because they understand energy is contagious. When you are spiritually awake, you realize that thoughts are not harmless, they are creative forces. Each thought you think sends a frequency into the universe and shapes your reality. If your thoughts are rooted in fear, you attract experiences that mirror fear. If your thoughts are rooted in love, you begin to draw in love, peace, and opportunity. That is why the awakened guard their inner world. They do not allow the mind to run wild with negativity, because they understand that every emotion begins as a single thought repeated too many times. They use awareness like a filter, watching their mind but not being controlled by it. Spiritually awake people also recognize that words hold enormous power. They are vibrations wrapped in sound. When spoken with intention, words can heal, restore, and uplift, but when spoken carelessly, they can destroy. That is why the awakened speak less, but with greater presence. They understand that silence itself carries frequency, and sometimes silence heals more than words ever could. They speak truth even when it's uncomfortable, because falsehood lowers vibration. They encourage others with sincerity, because they know love spoken aloud is a spiritual act. They use language as medicine, not as a weapon. They are also aware that emotions are currents of energy moving through the body. Emotions are not enemies to suppress, but messages to understand. When sadness arises, the awakened do not push it away. They listen. They ask, "What is this emotion trying to tell me?" They let it move, knowing that resistance traps energy and expression frees it. They feel deeply, but they do not drown in feeling, because they remain the witness of it all. They see that anger, grief, and fear are not proof of weakness. They are energy asking for transformation. The spiritually awake transform these emotions through awareness, breath, and compassion. They turn pain into understanding and understanding into peace. This awareness of energy also changes how they relate to others. They no longer react to people's negativity with more negativity. They understand that when someone lashes out, it is a projection of their own pain. Instead of absorbing it, the awake stays centered. They do not match the vibration of anger. They raise it through calm presence. They know that energy that is not met cannot affect you. This is why their peace often disarms conflict. Their vibration becomes stronger than the chaos around them. Because they live with this understanding, they are mindful of their environment. They choose spaces that nourish the soul, spend time in nature, listen to music that uplifts, and eat food prepared with love. They know that everything they engage with has an energetic signature, and each choice either elevates or drains their spirit. They keep their homes clean, not just physically but energetically, through intention, light, breath, and gratitude. Ultimately, the spiritually awake see that their own energy is their greatest responsibility. They know that every day they are either adding light or adding noise to the world. They wake each morning with awareness. What vibration will I embody today? Because to them, energy is not invisible. It is life itself. They do not just talk about peace, they become it. They do not just preach love, they radiate it. Because they understand one profound truth. The energy you carry is the message you send to the universe, and the universe always answers in the same language. Spiritually awake people see connection where others see separation. They have awakened to the truth that everything in this universe is intertwined. Every person, every plant, every drop of water, every star in the sky. All of it is part of one great breathing consciousness. They no longer see themselves as isolated beings trying to survive in a cold world. They see themselves as expressions of the same divine energy that moves through all things. To the awakened, there is no me and them. There is only we. They understand that every action ripples across the fabric of existence, that a thought of kindness can travel unseen but still heal someone far away. When you awaken spiritually, you begin to see that the boundaries separating people are illusions created by the mind. The color of skin, the language spoken, the beliefs followed. All of these are temporary layers that cover the same essence inside. When you look deeply into another person's eyes, you see yourself staring back. You recognize the same fears, the same hopes, the same longing to be loved and understood. The spiritually awake do not judge others by appearance or status, because they see the divine spark within every soul, even in those who seem lost or broken. They understand that everyone is on a journey of awakening, some just further along the path than others, and so they respond not with judgment, but with compassion. Because they see this connection, the awakened move through life differently. They do not compete, they cooperate. They do not dominate, they harmonize. They understand that hurting another is hurting oneself, that love given to others is love returned tenfold. They listen not to reply but to understand, because they know every person they meet carries a piece of the truth that they do not yet know. They see life as a dance of giving and receiving, where balance is found through kindness, humility, and respect for all living beings. Spiritually awake people also see unity beyond religion, beyond culture, beyond belief systems. They understand that God's source or the divine is not confined to temples, books, or rituals, but lives in every heartbeat, in every sunrise, in every breath. They honor all paths to truth because they know each soul must walk its own road back to the same infinite source. They do not argue about whose truth is greater. They simply live their truth with peace and let their energy speak for itself. To them, spirituality is not about convincing others, it is about embodying love so deeply that others feel safe enough to awaken too. The awakened also see the hidden purpose behind pain and relationships. They know that people enter our lives not by accident, but by design. Every relationship, friend, enemy, lover, teacher, serves a sacred role in awakening consciousness. The ones who hurt us teach us boundaries and strength. The ones who love us teach us softness and trust. The ones who leave us teach us detachment and acceptance. The awakened no longer curse the past. They bow to it. For every wound carved space for more light to enter. They do not ask, "Why did this happen to me?" They whisper, "Thank you for helping me remember who I am." When you awaken, you stop trying to change others, because you realize that the only person you can truly transform is yourself. And when you do, your vibration silently transforms everyone around you. The awakened understand that love is not something you demand, it is something you radiate. When you become love itself, the universe mirrors it back in countless forms. The spiritually awake walk through the world as living prayers. Their presence alone brings calm, their words uplift, their silence heals. Ultimately, they know that connection is the foundation of spiritual life. They feel one with the earth, with the wind, with the animals, with the stars. They sense that to harm nature is to harm their own body, and to love others is to honor their own soul. They live guided by one sacred truth. What you do to another, you do to yourself. And in that realization, they find the deepest peace of all, oneness, the knowing that everything and everyone is already home within the same divine whole. Finally, the spiritually awake see beauty in everything, not because everything is perfect, but because they have learned to look beyond appearances. They have trained their eyes to see light even in darkness, meaning even in pain, and growth even in endings. To them, beauty is not limited to sunsets or smiles. It lives in every breath, in every struggle, in every fleeting moment of awareness. They see the sacred hidden within the ordinary. The sound of rain becomes a meditation. The laughter of a stranger becomes a reminder of shared humanity. The silence between heartbeats becomes proof that existence itself is a miracle. They are not blind to the suffering of the world. They see it clearly, perhaps more clearly than anyone else, but they do not let it harden them. Instead, it opens them. The awakened understand that darkness is not the enemy of light, it is its teacher. Without sorrow, you would never understand joy. Without chaos, you would never appreciate peace. They do not run from pain because they have discovered that pain is the doorway to deeper awareness. When life breaks them, they do not shatter, they expand. They see that every loss strips away illusion and brings them closer to what cannot be lost. Spiritually awake people live in a state of quiet gratitude. Gratitude not only for what is pleasant, but for what challenges them. For the awakened, gratitude is not a reaction. It is a state of being. They wake each morning thankful simply to exist, thankful for air in their lungs, for the opportunity to grow, for another chance to love and to serve. They give thanks, not because everything goes their way, but because everything teaches them something valuable. Even disappointment becomes sacred because it redirects them toward truth. Gratitude for them is the highest form of prayer. They also see miracles where others see coincidence. A flower blooming through concrete, a child's curiosity, a kind gesture at the perfect time. None of these are random to the awakened. They understand that the universe speaks through synchronicities, through signs, through moments that seem small but carry deep meaning. They walk through life like students of the divine, open to messages in every form. They trust that nothing is accidental and that every experience has purpose, even if that purpose is not yet visible. They no longer ask for life to be easy. They ask for eyes clear enough to see the beauty in what is. Because of this awareness, the awakened move through life with serenity. They no longer chase highs or fear lows. They live in balance, understanding that every emotion, like the tide, comes and goes. They do not cling to joy nor resist sadness. They flow with both because they know that peace lies not in control but in acceptance. When you awaken, you realize that nothing truly belongs to you, not possessions, not relationships, not even the body you inhabit. And yet, you are complete. You begin to see that everything that comes into your life is borrowed from the divine, and everything that leaves returns to it. Spiritually awake people live simply but deeply. They may not have much, but they possess contentment. They do not crave recognition because they have already found meaning. They smile easily for no reason at all, because being alive is enough. They see that the purpose of life is not to collect more, but to become more, to grow in awareness, to expand in love, to live as instruments of peace. They understand that beauty is not something you find, it is something you become. The more you align with truth, the more the world reveals its hidden grace. And so the spiritually awake do not wait for the world to change. They bring light wherever they go. They listen when others need to be heard. They forgive when others hold grudges. They love without fear of loss because they have realized the eternal truth. You lose nothing by loving. You only expand. By living in this state of awareness, they inspire without preaching, heal without trying, and lead without claiming power. To see beauty in everything is to see God in everything. And once you begin to see God in all things, you can no longer be blind to the miracle of simply being alive.